Her words sliced through the clinking of glasses like a knife. Smiling that flawless, pageant-perfect smile she'd mastered long ago, my sister raised her glass to our parents, to raising an only child. The pause was calculated. My mother chuckled softly. My father nodded with amusement. I stayed frozen, invisible. No one looked at me. Not my parents, not my sister, not even the man she'd taken from me. Once, I thought betrayal was loud. Screaming, slammed doors, cruel words. It isn't. It creeps in silently, eroding you the way water wears away stone until you barely recognize what's left. Sophie had always been my shadow growing up. I mistook it for closeness. She copied my clothes, my hobbies, my friends. I never realized she was rehearsing, studying me so she could step into my place. When I introduced her to Michael, she greeted him with warmth. Too much warmth, maybe, but I dismissed it. She was single and charming. What harm could it do? It started small. She dropped by when I wasn't around. Michael began talking about her more than me. She gave him birthday gifts before I could. Then one evening, he came home with a scarf that wasn't mine. He claimed Sophie had forgotten it. She laughed when I asked. I pretended to believe them, smiling. But smiles hide everything. I never caught them in bed. I didn't have to. A friend sent me photos. The two of them in a corner booth at the wine bar I'd first taken him to, his tie loosened, her lipstick smeared. They looked happy. I felt nothing, and that emptiness told me I wasn't broken. I was calculating. I didn't confront them. I watched. I listened. I played the part of the oblivious sister and the patient partner. Meanwhile, I closed accounts, shifted ownership of assets, secured everything they could never touch. Sophie wanted to take my place. She could keep it. I'd take everything else. When our parents' 40th anniversary arrived, I made all the arrangements, the restaurant, the speeches, the cake. Sophie offered to give a toast. I insisted instead. Michael was invited. Of course. I wanted him there. When the curtain dropped, the room glittered with roses and champagne. Guests laughed and chattered. I blended in at the table, the quiet observer. Sophie swept in wearing white silk, glowing like a bride. Michael followed, in the suit I had once bought him. They didn't sit together, but their glances gave them away. Midway through dinner, Sophie stood and raised her glass. To Mom and Dad for raising an only child. A ripple of uneasy laughter. My mother's smile softened. My father grinned. Michael nearly smirked. I rose slowly. The scrape of my chair silenced the room. That's strange, I said, lifting my glass, because I was certain I had a sister. Sophie's smile faltered. I pulled a stack of photographs from my bag. Sophie and Michael together at the wine bar, at his apartment, at a hotel. I spread them across the table for everyone to see. I thought tonight was about family, I said calmly, but apparently definitions vary. Sophie flushed crimson. Michael stiffened. I continued, steady, and before anyone worries about inheritance, don't. I've already changed my will. Everything I own goes to charity. The trust is untouchable. The business is gone. Whoever wanted to replace me will find the role comes without rewards. The silence was heavy. My mother's face twisted with betrayal as she stared at Sophie. My father pushed his chair back and walked out. Michael reached for Sophie, but she pulled away. Whisper spread like sparks catching flame. I set down my glass, nodded once to my parents, and left. Outside, the night air was sharp and clean, like breathing for the first time after drowning. Within a week, Michael was in a short-term rental. Sophie had crawled back to our parents' house. Relatives who once called her beautiful now muttered words like shameless, disgrace. I never answered their calls. I didn't need to.